Aloha, one and all. Spastic here with the Season 5 Draft Analysis for the United Battlers Championship. For starters, I'd like to go ahead and say thank you to Choice CJ and Bee's Knees for allowing me to join the league. It really is a big honor, not even exaggerating. So, the Big Island Volcanions, yes. We are in the game, we are in the competitive scene. I've done analysis for the GBA, but this is competitive. I'm actually a competitor now. But let me go over this team that I've got built. Wow. Let me go over this team that I've built. I'm actually really happy with it. It's, long story short, 22 coaches, each division divided up into 11 coaches each. I'm in the Ether division. Ether, Aether, potato, tomato, whatever. We're in the Ether division, and we have some pretty stiff competition. But we had the second pick overall. So I could have gotten essentially anything I wanted, except for whoever picked first. But aside from that, I had a very strong feeling that my first pick was not going to be sniped. So let's get right down to the nitty-gritty. First off, I wanted to start establishing my defensive core. As a player, I'm more comfortable with more offensive mons than I am with defensive mons. So I wanted to go ahead and establish my defensive core with mons that I'm familiar with. And I really wanted Mega Venusaur. I drafted Venusaur. I've used it before in League format. I'm really happy to have it back. It's going to be the bulk of my defensive core, which when you see my later picks, it'll mesh well. I'm really happy with Mega Venusaur. I'm very familiar with it, very comfortable with it. Defensively, offensively, I'm looking forward to even utilizing a few tricks. So I had to wait 18 picks. Yeah, 18 picks before I got to pick again. And then I had the next, so I was like, you know what, whatever. So a lot of good mons were picked. I got Mega Venusaur, so I had the beginnings of my defensive core. Great. Was off to a great start. After that, I wanted to further flesh out my defensive core. I wanted something a little on the especially defensive side. I needed a fairy type, and I wanted to go ahead and grab them while the getting was good. Togekiss would go later on. All of the Tapus were gone at this point. So I went ahead and grabbed Florges. Now, I haven't used Florges before in a league format, but its special defense is extremely solid. It's a great wish passer, great cleric with heal bell and aromatherapy. It even has decent special offense if I want to run a surprise attacker. So Florges is going to be what is a great cleric and special defensive wall. So I had that, and I knew that down towards the lower tiers, I wanted the lower point cost. I wanted to grab my physically defensive wall because that's where a lot of good steel types and rock types are. And I figured with Mega Venusaur and Florges, they form a nice defensive supplement to any rock type or steel type I would pick up. So I wanted to start getting my offense. Round 3, I could not believe that this mon was still in the pool to be picked. So I grabbed Latios. I have a great affinity for the Latis. Latios, definitely more offensive. I was kind of considering Latias, but it got picked. So I went Latios. The blue one is great. It's fast, it hits hard, it has a wide move pool. It's going to form a good, solid offensive basis. And then I had to wait 18 more picks. So to pair with Latios, I wanted a fast physical attacker. But at this point, a lot of the really good offensive mons have been taken. Garchomp was gone, Infernape was gone, Bulu was gone. Yeah. So a lot of good offensive mons were gone, and yeah, I wanted a fire type, but I figured I could wait just a little longer. So I went ahead and got Terrakion. Terrakion is a powerhouse and a half. I've used it before in like Smogon and I've used it before in Smogon and in game playthroughs, but I've never used it in League format. But I've seen it more than enough to know that it is a force to be reckoned with, and I feel that it pairs really well with Latios as far as its coverage goes. And after that, I had almost the wheel, and I saw this mon on the board, and I thought, I really have a lot of history with this mon. Let me grab Umbreon. Let me further supplement that defensive core. Let me get another Cleric. Let me get another Wish Passer. Let me get another Heal Beller. That way, Florges doesn't have to do it single-handedly. I've used Umbreon before in League format. It's done wonders for me. I love how defensive it is. I like how bulky and utilitarian it is. It's not great offensively, but to be honest, I have some good offense established already, and my later picks would establish that even further. So then we wait, and we wait. Arcanine got picked, and I was a little sad because I wanted that as my fire type. And in hindsight, I probably should have grabbed Arcanine over Umbreon, but I wanted that defense. So coming back through the draft, I realized I had no hazards, nor did I have any sort of hazard control. So I thought, why not grab all the hazards? Let me grab Fortress. Granted, it doesn't learn Sticky Webs, but hey, that's fine. Stealth Rock's Toxic Spikes, plus it can Rapid Spin, it's a slow Volt Switcher. Cool! So I've got my hazards, I've got a spinner. But let me go ahead and grab another spinner, that way I don't have to run it on Fortress. So I grabbed Blastoise. Blastoise is a good mixed defensive mon. It's got good offenses, good enough that I can run some offense if I feel like. Plus, it's got a wide enough move pool to bolster it. Plus, Rapid Spin, yes. Towards this part of the draft, I realized that I wanted to spread out my points as much as possible. A lot of the other coaches were heavily investing in the higher tiers, which is great because, oh my Lanta, some of these teams I have to go up against, I do not want to go up against them. But I wanted to grab another high tier mon because there were still a few left at this point. So I did some calculations and I kind of had a good feel for how the rest of my draft was going to go. So I desperately needed some speed. Latios is base 110, Terrakion base 108. They're good, but I wanted some more dedicated speed. I saw this mon on the board, I had to take it. I grabbed Tornadus-T. It's fast, regenerator, good move pool, near about equal offenses, near about equal defenses. So many options. I can run a support set, I can run an offensive set, I can run just a bulky set. Torn-T is going to be great, and I'm really happy it was still on the board, so I thought I would grab it. I was initially planning for Tornadus Incarnate, but I grabbed the Therian form. I needed some speed, I needed some defense. Speaking of speed, my next pick was another evolution on the board that I've used before, and I could not let it just sit there. Jolteon. I've used Jolteon several times in League format. I have so much respect and love for Jolteon. Stupid fast, Volt Absorb, can hit decently hard with its special attack. Its move pool ain't that great, but can also run Heal Bell if I feel like getting a fast support off. So Jolteon's great, gave me some great speed, gives me a good Volt Switcher to scout, along with Tornadus-T and getting off those fast U-turns. I wanted to grab some more bulk with this next pick, and I wanted to grab Dusknoir. I've used Dusknoir before. It's done great for me. I love its defenses. I like its offenses. I like its move pool. But right before I could grab it, it got sniped. I can genuinely say this was the one genuine snipe for me out of this entire draft. Damn you, Parker. Anyway, so I grabbed Dusclops. Next best thing. Good God, those defenses are going to be stupid with an Eviolite. It's low HP, low attack, low spec attack, low speed. Everything else is kind of lackluster, but it's still going to do some good. It's Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, some tricky sets. You can run, Nightshade, Seismic Toss. I can run a few things. And Dusclops is just going to be a great annoying wall, especially with Umbreon and Florges supplementing it with some wishes. My next pick, I wanted to get a little more speed and a good backup offensive mon. And I thought, you know what, might as well just grab another immunity. So at this point, I'm digging down to the bottom of the draft. I got Rapidash. Rapidash, I've used it before in other playthroughs, but not competitive. And I'm just looking at its move pool, looking at its abilities, I can kind of see why, but for me, it's a fast physical attacker. It's got flash fire. It's got access to some great moves, some great coverage moves. So, and Fortress really appreciates that flash fire. So, my last pick, a lot of coaches were done with their drafts at this point. Or they were drafting just straight heat, like Why Not and Trapinch, and a Alolan Graveler, looking at you, Greg. I had 5 points left. I wanted a good mon that could support the rest of my team. So I got Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan has some good offense, some decent speed, plus, base 105 HP, and it can learn Wish. So it added a lot to my team. It wasn't a need-all, catch-all, but it definitely gave some nice supplement to the rest of my team. So I'm pretty happy with how my draft turned out, and each coach chooses a Z captain. I chose Tornadus-T, because other coaches chose Manaphy, Thundurus Incarnate, Scolipede, Lando Therian, Thundurus Therian, great powerhouses. I chose Tornadus-T because I can mix it up. I can do support. I can do physical offense. I can do special offense. I have just enough of a variety in my move pool. Icy Wind, Heat Wave, Extra Sensory, Dark Pulse. I can mix it up. It's not going to hit as hard as some of the other Z captains, but the variability is just too good to pass up. So that's the Big Island Volcanion UBC Season 5 Draft Analysis. I'm Ospastic One. I look forward to seeing the rest of you. I look forward to seeing you for the rest of the season. Aloha, everybody.